Hello guys, welcome to Basic Nursing Classes. Myself Amanpreet. Today we are moving on with our topic diabetes mellitus. In the previous videos we discussed about its types and its causes, risk factors and complications and the normal metabolism of glucose in our body. And in today's video we are going to talk about DKA, which is diabetic ketoacidosis, which occurs as a result of uncontrolled type 1 diabetes, and HHNKA, which is hyperosmolar hyperglycemic non-ketoacidosis, which occurs as a result of uncontrolled type 2 diabetes mellitus. Okay, and both are life threatening conditions. Okay, so let's move on with DKA and HHNKA. As we previously discussed that in DKA there is increased blood sugar plus there is increased ketones in the urine in the body. Okay, and there is acidic condition. The pH is less than 7.35, but in HH and Ka there is increased blood sugar level, but there is no ketones. Okay, there is no acidosis in the blood. Okay, the pH remains normal. And in DKA there is metabolic acidosis present, and because of hyperglycemia the blood sugar level that is more than 300 milligram per deciliter, but in HHNKA the level of glucose it's very much, it's more than 600 and even more. You can say we cannot, sometimes it cannot be measured on the blood sugar machine. Okay, it's in the food desserts also, it's very much. Okay, it's too much glucose in the body, so that's why it is called hyperosmolar hyperglycemic condition. Okay, but there is no fat metabolism in HHNKA, but on the other hand in DKA there is fat metabolism, because in DKA there is no insulin at all present in the body, so body has to use fats to produce energy. But in HHNKA there is some insulin, or there is some insulin resistance present in the body, but it can prevent the acidosis, but it cannot prevent hyperglycemic condition. Okay, and in DKA the blood osmolarity, it is not too much, it is variable. But in HHNKA, because the blood sugar levels are too much high, and so there is very high thick concentration of blood, so osmolarity of the blood is very high, too much high. Okay, and TKA condition, it happens all of a sudden. Okay, but on the other hand HHNKA, it happens gradually over a period of time. So obviously it happens gradually, so obviously the patient can experience some warning signs. Okay, the warning signs that we earlier discussed, there are mainly 3 P's: polyuria, polydipsia, polyphagia. Okay, and because of increased blood sugar level, so obviously it will affect our kidneys also. The kidneys filter the blood to excrete the urine, so kidneys can absorb sugar to some level, but in both DKA and HHNKA there are very high levels of blood sugar, so kidneys can absorb only a certain amount of sugar, and other sugar kidneys have to excrete in our urine. Okay, so because of too much glucose in the blood and excretion of glucose through urine, there is polyuria. It can lead to osmotic diuresis. Okay, in both conditions. And high levels of glucose in the kidneys can even damage the kidneys. Okay, and because of polyuria there is loss of electrolytes also in both conditions. There's loss of sodium potassium chloride. Okay, so it can lead to electrolyte imbalance. Okay, If it is not controlled, the hyperglycemic condition is not controlled, it can lead to loss of electrolytes plus kidney damage. And apart from that, there are some sign of symptoms, typical sign and symptoms, which are both in DKA and HHNKA. So let's first discuss about DKA. In DKA, because of ketones, there is fruity breath. Okay, because of acidosis, there is typical ketones breath coming out of the patient's body. And because of acidosis, the patient tries to expel the carbon dioxide from the body to balance the pH. So obviously the patient will rapidly deep breathe. So that rapid deep breathing is called Casmel breathing. Okay, that is typically present in DKA. Okay, to expel too much acidosis, too much acid from the body tries to compensate that condition. Plus, apart from these signs and symptoms, there can be abdominal pain because of metabolic acidosis, and there can be fatigue, confusion, and severe dehydration. Dehydration is because of increased blood sugar levels in the blood. Okay, and in HHNKA, because there are increased blood sugar levels, so obviously very severe dehydration is also there, but it is more than DKA, because in HHNKA the blood sugar levels are too much high, so major dehydration is there. Plus there are warning signs, obviously, because it happens gradually over a period of time. So polyuria, polydipsia, and polyphagia. And there can be fever, confusion, mental status changes, and change in level of consciousness, and in severe conditions it can lead to coma or seizures also. Okay, and in both conditions there are some electrolyte imbalance, and the main electrolyte which you have to check, that is potassium, because potassium is very important than sodium. Okay, so remember to check for the potassium levels in both conditions. Okay, and let's move on to the some causes which can lead to DKA and HHNKA. First, let's discuss DKA. The first cause can be undetected diabetes mellitus. When the patient doesn't know that I'm suffering from diabetes type 1, okay, then it can lead to DKA. So obviously the patient is not taking any medication to control DKA. And if there is some illness or infection, acute or recent infection you can say within past 2 weeks. Okay, and because in illness and infection the blood sugar levels go up. Okay, and in severe starvation in diabetes mellitus, because if the patient is starving, so obviously there is no glucose in the blood, so it has to burn the fat, and there will be release of ketones because of burning of fats. It can lead to acidosis. And other causes can be increased stress levels, some medications like steroids, thiazide diuretics, and non-compliance with insulin. And the patient is not taking insulin as required, he is taking less than required, and not enough physical activity or exercise. Okay, so all these conditions can lead to DKA. And let's move on to some causes of HHNKA. Because HHNKA it occurs in the older age, in the adults. So if the adults there is some infection or illness, any recent infection, and or infection can be viral also, can be bacterial or any other infection, it's a big factor that can lead to increased blood sugar levels. Okay, and apart from that there can some non-compliance with the medication, either it can be insulin or it can be some oral diabetic medications. Okay, then some medications also like steroids or thiazide diuretics, and stress levels. Okay, and if the patient is not doing physical activity as much as required, but he is taking the medications. okay, anti-diabetic medications. So the causes are these ones, and these are both almost similar, but there's one minimal difference in between these two, and plus there is major difference between their sign and symptoms and the acidosis. The main difference is acidosis. In DKA there is acidosis, but in HHNKA there is no acidosis. Okay, and in DKA there is fat metabolism, but in HHNKA there is no fat metabolism. Okay. So in the next video we are going to discuss the management of both conditions. Okay, so till then revise these topics. Good luck for exam. Thank you.